Welcome back to another episode of Southern Hang. Super excited, all four boys back in the saddle again. It's been a minute. We've got four friends who met in college. For first-time listeners, actually, let me take that back. For long-time listeners, you may know by now, I like my movies. For first-time listeners, if you don't know, I like my movies. Now that we got all four of us back in the saddle, we've been covering down things, a lot on music here recently. We've talked about steakhouses. We've talked about sports. One of the things I wanted to dig in here today was fatherhood. And tying it back to my movies, I saw a quote one time, and it kind of stuck with me for a long time, but I'm going to go back to the Sandlot. At some point in your childhood, you and your friends went outside to play together for the last time, and nobody knew it. And that stuck with me for a long time. And as kids, it makes perfect sense, right? Kids barely see past the next 5 minutes, maybe the next 10 minutes. But as an adult, you see things, you've got a better grasp. Well, I say better grasp. I hope we have a better grasp on reality, on life, and a better understanding of what's going to happen, right? So maybe it's a group of friends. Maybe it's something that your kids do. And that's kind of where I wanted to focus today. What are some things that our kids used to do and we didn't know it was going to be the last minute? Or maybe it's some things that they still do and we're hanging on to it because it's special. It's special to us. And I think I'm hoping it resonates with our listeners. I certainly know with these four guys, we such deep love for our kids and family that I think it'll resonate here. So, boys, I don't want to get too sappy on us today. I hope we have a lot of fun, but that's where I want to dig in. What do you say?
I'm ready.
All about it.
I'm ready.
All about it.
And I agree. I'm excited to have all four of us back together. We have had what is it? Potato cakes? I don't even know. Like, when was the last time we were together? So it's I'm just glad all four of us together, and then all these artists trying to come in our show and hijack Neil's talk time. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, let's get back to what we're based on. We need some good stories. We need some good content.
I've got pages and pages of notes. Look out.
I will say, throwing back to the potato cakes episode, I can't look at a potato the same way.
I think about it every time I go to eat a potato now. I'm like, did I discuss this? Yeah. Oh, this one's
every
good.
time.
Yeah, now I'm ranking.
Every time I even look at a side item now, Craig, I'm like, wait a minute, do I need a potato or do I need a green? I don't need a green vegetable. I need a potato.
Yeah.
I got to have some form. And now what form? Which one?
Yeah.
And then we sit down for breakfast and we're like, could we get a breakfast appetizer?
Oh, yeah. Breakfast appetizers. It's a game changer, Bill.
I don't even ask anymore now. When it's breakfast appetizers, if I'm sitting with people, I just order it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I'm that guy now. I'm just taking it over.
Just order for the table. Order for the table.
Who are your people? Who were your people that did that too?
Shout out Jeff and Amanda Davis. Yeah, we're hanging out with them next weekend, man. We'll see what kind of appetizers they bring to the table when we're hanging out. So yeah, it's game
Jeff
changer.
And Amanda, we owe you one.
Yeah, game changer. Game changer.
Well, and maybe someday it's the last time anybody orders a breakfast appetizer.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it just happened.
Speaking of last times, and your boy Beam does it great because he does that annual picture that he picks up all three of his boys. But there's that thing they talk about that they say there's going to be a point in your life is going to be the last time that you pick up your child. And that's the last time you pick them up. And I think it's cool as shit that Beam does that picture of here. He picks up all, like his back's going to go out. Those boys are humongous. But that's a cool thing that he does that. So like I think about that every year when, or every once in a while, and I just have to go grab my children and like lift them out of the air. I'm like, oh no, we ain't done yet. I'm picking y'all up, boy. Yeah.
Well, this was the year, right, Craig, where they had to pick him up. That was the flip.
Oh,
is that now they've got to hold him.
Transitional period. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Beams. That is that I used to look for. I still do look forward to that picture.
Yeah, it's great.
It's awesome.
Well, and Craig, you don't know my stories, but that's a good segue for me into something that just went away.
All right.
So years ago, I don't even know how it happened, but Gunnar saw a scary movie or something, and for a long time it was a challenge to get him to bed, right? So you have to stay in there till he fell asleep or whatever.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And inevitably 30 minutes, 45 minutes later, he would come out to the living room. I'm either working on the laptop or watching TV or whatever. he'd make a couple comments and he would hold his hands in the air, right? And I'd go walk over and I'd pick him up and carry him back to bed. And as painful as it was, because, it's like, it's a 45-minute process just to get him to bed at this point, right? And he's going to come back out here in a minute. But one night he came out, he made a couple comments, and I walked over and I reached my hands out to pick him up, and he just turned and walked away and went back to bed on his own.
Oh,
I was fucking crushed.
Right.
It was like, it was such a little thing, right? And as painful as it was to get him to bed, I almost looked forward to it. And when here I was reaching out, arms stretched out, and he just walked away
with arms wide open.
Oh man, yeah. The whole bedtime process, like when they're little, it seems like it's like, okay, who's going to do it this night? But then when you're not doing it anymore, Lance used to be like, he would say, come rub my back. And he said it with like a toddler or young kid, like with, like that accent or whatever that they have where they're not quite saying their words right, but he'd say like, come rub my back. And we'd look at each other like, who's going to do it tonight? And you'd be in there 15 minutes. And then, you know what, at some point they just quit saying there's no more come rub my back.
Yeah. We're hitting that right now. Lang is 12 and just turned 12, and we're getting the, occasionally lay on you type thing, and like you can feel it. But he used to do the same thing, just kind of, we rub my back and whatever it was. But now it's kind of, those are fewer times right now. It's just kind of happening. It's it's happening.
Nolan always wanted me to lay in the bed, and he's like, let's just talk. I'm like, well, what are we going to talk about? And it was always the same thing. Let's talk about houses. I'm like, all right. So I'm like, what are we going to talk about? Like, well, what do you make them out of? Brick? Do you make them out of wood? And so I just always thought that was funny. Like he when he was like, can we just talk tonight? Yeah, we can talk. We will talk about. But it was always the same subject. And so me and Tammy will still do that to this day. We'll go climb in bed, and the news, we'll turn the news off. She's like, let's just talk. I'm like, yeah, let's talk about houses. Let's just talk about houses. Don't know why that was his subject, but that was his subject when he was a little guy. Yeah.
Did you become the Bubba Gump of houses? Well, yeah. There's all kinds of houses,
right?
Brick houses, siding houses, wood houses.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah. What
about I was going to say, y'all talking about bedtime. I actually brought a prop.
Oh, nice.
So I for our YouTube channel, I've got the book, like bedtime. You have the books that you read to your kids, but there was one of them. Mine are spread out. I got 3 of them. And there was one of them that made it through all of them. And so there was a point when I read this book for the last time and I didn't know what it was going to be. But I think what I'm going to do, and I've kept it because I'm going to find a point later on. I don't know if it's at like a wedding or something where I'm going to pop out the book and I'm going to read it to him again.
Well, tell us what
it's funny.
Tell us that book, because I couldn't see it in the picture.
So the book is called No Matter What, and it's just a simple little children's book. And there's 2 characters. They're like kangaroos or something. And one is called Large, and that's the dad. And one is called Small. And you could probably guess who Small is. But it's cool. It's just like a story about like kid being scared or whatever. But I tell you, man, you want the room to get a little dusty. It's like they talk about when they get older and they're not living in the same house anymore.
Yeah,
they say how are we going to do it? And Large says to Small, look up at the stars. They're far, far away, but their light reaches us at the end of each day. It's like that with love. We may be close, we may be far, but our love still surrounds us wherever we are. And so I just keep that, and it's like, you know what? That book's not going away. I'm going to just keep that tucked away.
So my bedside table, I've got a what's the one? The golden book. I've got a golden book that my grandmother read to me when I was a little bitty. It's about the platypus, and they find the platypus and nobody knows who he is, and he goes and joins the circus. But it was my favorite book ever. My grandma used to read. And when they went to sell all her possessions, and my grandma and grandpa, were going through all the stuff, I found that book. I'm like, oh, hell nah. That's coming with me, buddy. So it still sits on my bedside table. I pull that book out every once in a while that my grandma read to me when I was a little dude. When I was the small. Yeah.
Hit you in the feels.
Well, yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
We are a Where the Wild Things Are was our
that's a good one.
book. We had two actually. The Very Hungry Caterpillar, and then and Where the Wild Things Are. And it never hit me that I would not be reading that book. Like I don't know what I was thinking. But when he was 3 and you're sitting there reading, I'm not sitting there, thinking about, oh, when he was 12, I won't be reading this.
Yeah.
And now I look back and I'm like, man, I want to just go. And sometimes maybe I just pick that book up occasionally because it's still in his room. It's like up on the bookshelf. Now he's got like, Dog Man and Cat Kid and Captain Underpants and all the other stuff that he's into. But
Yeah.
those are all past now too. He's moving on from those, or moved on. So
did y'all have a hey, I'm about to walk out the room, one final thing ritual that y'all did? We had a high five we did. So like it was up high, down low, in the hole, wee, rah, and that was the final. That was the final when we were walking, and we would do it back and forth to each other. We did it, and then that was the all right, bro. I'm cutting out. This is we did whatever the pregame
on rough nights. On rough nights where you had to go back up, Craig, did you have to do that every time that you went back up? They can't sleep. They're tired or whatever it is.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I guess. I mean, it was pretty typical. I mean, and I don't know when the day it was we quit doing that, but to this day, every once in a while we'll pull it out. We do the whole thing, so it's a cool little high five ritual that we have and walk out. But yeah, I'm sure we did. The other one I like is when my nephew would stay over, Ethan, and I'd have him and Nolan are the same age, and so they'd be going about time to go to bed. I'm like, all right, boys. Brush to the teethy, pee-pee to pee-pee, and sleepy to sleepy. And then that was like, all right. And they would head off to bed. They're like, got it. I'm like, what we gotta do? What we gotta do, boys? Brush it to teepee, pee-pee to pee-pee, sleepy to sleepy.
Make sure you do them in that order.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And don't mix them together.
That's right.
Exactly.
Very crucial. Hell yeah.
Yeah, we've got a little saying, and it's graduated over time, right? Like it used to be just me, and then it kind of evolved into us, bantering back and forth because he knew what was coming, and now it's evolved into this thing of, who loves who the most.
Oh, I like that one.
And I started doing this thing. I was like, well, I kind of tried to go old school Bugs Bunny, reverse psychology on him. It's like, yes, you do, no, you don't kind of thing. So I started being like, I'm glad we agree. I love you more. And I will walk out of his bedroom all the way into the kitchen, which, I don't, obviously the listeners haven't been in my house. That's pretty good ways. And we're still yelling at each other. No, you don't. I love you more. Sometimes I can't even decipher what he's saying. Like he goes on a rant about how much he loves me, and it's awesome, right? But it's just it's funny to see how the times change with that.
Hell yeah. I like when Tony Stark is putting his little kid, his daughter to bed in one of the Avenger movies, and she says, I love you like 3,000. And he's like, wow, that's incredible. And then he comes out and he's telling Pepper Potts he's like, yeah, you were like in the upper, 900s, but I was 3,000, I like that part of the show. Hell yeah, that's great.
Red, that is something that has been actually passed on from my family. My mom used to say, or still does, actually. I'm 50 years old now. She's still, I love you more than all the stars in the sky, or I love you more than all the grains of sand on the beach. And my son now says that, and we come up with new ways to explain that, of like massive amounts of stuff, of just whatever. And it's normally looking around, trying to figure out what are the things that are out there. I love you more than all the trees that have fallen off.
Hell yeah.
Or all the leaves that have fallen off the trees, things like that. So it is kind of cool. But the cool part about that is that'll never, it doesn't have to stop. So those are one of those, moments that you can kind of keep. It passes on. Actually, every time Langston says it now that I hear it, I think about my parents. Like it's kind of a cool thing.
That's awesome. You hit him with a little Randy Travis every now and then just to keep him on it. Loves deeper than the holler, higher than the mountain.
He's an Imagine Dragons only fan right now. That's it. Imagine Dragons. That's it. So There's no, that's not true. AJR slips in there every once in a while, but no country music. Ain't got him there yet. Not yet. It's coming.
Reflective on the large and the small. But Randy Travis, he walks on water. I think of my grandpa every damn time I hear that song. I love that song. But sorry, side note. Back to Randy Travis. Back to the story time. My bad.
No, it's all tied together.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I think that's the beauty of it, right? Because you watch this, you watch your kids go through these things, and you know, I reflect a lot and think about how did my parents react, right? What did they go through? And you know, I had one. I guess it's been 2 years now. I didn't even know it, right? I was like, springtime came along, and I was just assuming it was going to be things as usual. Hey, buddy, we're going to play baseball this time? Nope.
Well, yeah.
So after I picked myself up off the floor, and not because I wanted to play baseball, but it's like I didn't realize that I had seen him play his last baseball game. And I'm still hoping, right? Still trying to talk him into going back out and playing again. But I was just like, have we come to the end of the era? Like there was no farewell tour. Didn't even know. It just happened.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, we're a big sports family, and all three of my kids did that, and so we went through that. So, like my oldest, she did the competitive cheer, so she was did the gym time thing, which is big gym here in Louisville, and she had no intention of doing cheer in college. So we knew her senior year was going to be what you said there, Red, the farewell tour. So we thought we knew. Her senior year was 2020. So that was COVID. So everything shut down. So February of her senior year, now, like we've got like the last big trips. They do like an Orlando trip and something else. And it just, none of those happened. So it just like her last competition was just one of the competitions of the year. We didn't even get to experience that. And she didn't either. Right. Like she had no closure to it. So that was
no senior night.
Nothing. No. Heck, her graduation was a drive-through.
Oh, drive-through. Yeah, that
rude.
sucks.
Like,
that sucks.
Yep.
Yeah, I think she's a year ahead of Nolan. So Nolan was at the back end, but he did get prom, but they had it on the football field, and like you had to have. You had to you're between the 10 and the 20. The next couple gets to be between the 20, 20 and 30. We'll have 5 couples per, whatever. But that was. But yeah, Will his senior year we got to have all that. So we got to have, and he's the same way. Club soccer player, and we did get to do all the. But I hadn't thought about that till you said that the final. We're in the post. Travel ball family that is excited that we aren't living our life every weekend at a soccer field right now. We're like, God, this is kind of nice. I'm sure we're going to miss it here real soon, but at the moment we're still oh man, this is kind of nice. We're not always at a soccer field. So, but I'm sure we'll miss that very soon.
Yeah.
Well, I did want to bring up because and in my picture of what we're staring at on the screen right now, Neil and I are at the top, and then Red and Sherman at the bottom. So I don't know if that's the way it's going to come out, but we're the older dads, and y'all are the younger dads. So we get to kind of maybe the top screen gets to tell the bottom screen what y'all are about to come on to. You boys are about to be going into in the next couple of years. Oh, the driver's license is coming, and then it's a whole nother level of anxiety of living on Life 360. Freaked out about, I got to let my child go off in a car by themselves and drive a car. And you're just freaked out the whole freaking day, staring at your children as they head off to go drive on their own. And so, yeah, it's coming for you boys. You just wait for that part of parenting. It's a whole nother level of anxiety.
Yeah, you get emotional anxiety of worrying about where your kids are, and then you get the financial anxiety of how the hell am I going to pay my car insurance bill?
Right. Oh, buddy. Yeah, I forgot about that too. Yeah.
I was thinking about that actually for middle school. Of Red and I both, having middle schooler compared to high school, of like what we're gonna miss or what are the things. And like one of the things that we used to do like a walk up drop off for grade school, and it didn't even hit me. I didn't even know it was happening the day that we went, first day of middle school, sixth grade here in Kentucky. But went in and dropped him off, and it was the car line. There was no walking up. There's none of that. There's no little hug at the end. None of that stuff at all. It's literally just go, bye. And he's running because there's a line. So you got to make sure you're moving quick to not hold up the cars behind you. And that has become, it's a completely different experience now of just kind of that mode. So the high school thing, I know will be different, obviously, when they're not even in the car with you and they're just bolting out the door, eating whatever they're eating on the road, like running to the car to get out.
That's one thing I am hanging on to, Sherm, the school drop off, because this went away for maybe a week and a half. And again, I was crushed, right? It's like these things just stop happening. You're like, shit. But, we take him to school, drop him off. Hey, love you. See you later. Right. Close the door. And as he's walking across the parking lot, he does this little thing. Like he looks around to see, hey, says what's up to his buddies. But he does this little thing where he looks back and gives me the little wave. Like, and it's the best start to a morning there could be. Mm-hmm. And like I say, it went away for like a week and a half. And I was like, holy shit, it's just gone. And then all of a sudden it came back. I don't know if he forgot about it, got too wrapped up in what was going on the playground as he was walking across it. But when it came back, I was so fucking excited.
100%.
100%. The driving thing. So I didn't even realize it, but I got a picture sent to me the first day of school this year. And it was a picture of Lance getting in his car to drive to school because he got his license over the summer. And so Shane sent me that picture with a crying emoji. Like she just kind of like, because she wasn't going to get, for the first time, she wasn't going to get that drop off, right? Like the dropping off at school. She didn't even anticipate, didn't even realize what was happening. And then in the moment, it's like, oh, wait, I'm not going with you. Like, and it hit her. It hit her big time.
That's a tough one.
I think those are the ones maybe that hit you the deepest, right? When you don't even know the end is coming. You don't think about it, and it just stops.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about sports. So Lance is a big athlete, and he's played baseball and basketball his whole, since he was 5 or whatever. And we just figured, of course, he's just going to play both sports throughout. And he did. Obviously, he's still playing baseball. But after his freshman year, he was wrapping up his freshman year of basketball. And it was a great year. And he was a very good player. And leading into his sophomore year, it's supposed to be the first day of basketball. And he goes through his routine. He grabs his basketball. He goes out to shoot and get ready for the routine. And he comes back in like 2 minutes later and says, you know what? I'm not feeling it. And he's like, he had it in his head where he wanted to focus on baseball. And so, and basketball, man, I mean, we're like, well, no, you're going to keep playing. And they're like, oh, wait, not our decision. Yeah. And so, yeah, we like the last basketball game he played, we had no idea was going to be his last game. And I think he probably had a good idea, but we sure didn't. And it just caught us. And like you said, it catches you off guard and you're like, wait a minute, I was supposed to be able to prepare for this.
Yeah. What about you have like an active future? Like I think about that all the time. Like, hey, I've got to start having what am I doing with these children that is, I get my one-on-one time with them and we're not staring at a phone. We're not, we're just chilling. And so I tried to attempt to become a fisher guy. And we own a little pontoon. I think we've talked about Roro, but I think we had one day last year that we all decided we were fisher people. That didn't make it. But we do float in the boat a lot. That's a captive audience. We're together. We're spending that time together? Do y'all have something that you're like, okay, I got to get my gig? You know, like Red, you're probably a golf, right? You and Gunner golf?
We do, yeah. Well, to your point, right, to try to get away from the technology, try to do all the things outdoors, but
yeah, right. I want no distractions. I want, hey, we're talking, not we're sitting in the same room together staring at our phones. Like we're doing something.
Like the golf and fishing both. The problem, well, it's not a problem. He enjoys both things. He probably enjoys golfing, certainly at a younger age, because I let him drive the golf cart. So it's more about getting to drive the cart probably than playing golf. But like I say, it's a captive audience. They can't go anywhere, right? They're stuck with you for a couple hours. And sometimes it's amazing conversation. And sometimes it's, the typical stuff, one word answer. But, again, it's good QT time.
Yeah, you got to have it.
And the T is the most important, right?
Heck yeah.
I mean, the quality is important, don't get me wrong, but just the amount of time. Just the time that you're getting with them and like just that they're there and you're focused on it. And I find myself, to your point of like the no distractions, I'm just as much of a problem on that as him. I mean, of anything of him doing, it's like I got to put my phone down for work or whatever the thing is. And it's like it's way more important just to leave the phone behind or leave whatever the distraction is going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Just to
be in the moment.
Yeah. Be present. That's exactly right. That's been
I'm thinking about seeing if I can invent like a side-by-side or 3-person wide lawnmower, and then I can just have the boys with me, and we can mow the lawn together. Be out there in the yard, because I can't have him edging and me mowing. We're not, we're both doing the job, but we're not like hanging. Like I need like where we're sitting next to each other and we're, mowing the yard together.
Could you not get like a NASCAR helmet or something that has microphones and
like the talkie, like the inside the phone talkie. Oh, good call.
Yeah,
this may be a thing. This may be a thing. You're on.
Like I say, they're there, right? They got to finish the job.
Right.
You can't just walk off the job.
No, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
like, bro. That edging you just did, bro. Oh, well, missed a spot.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to head to the backyard. Why don't you come with tail? Come on.
Yeah.
Y'all talk about things that you do when they're young. So now, as my kids have gotten older, we had that episode dedicated to talking about our trip to Italy. But the best thing about that entire trip was not what we saw, but it was just the 5 of us my son's 17 now, so he's pretty much an adult. The 5 of us as adults, like doing stuff. And that's what we took away from that Italy trip the most, which was like, man, we had a lot of fun together when we're all together, hanging out, just doing things. And we can't wait to take the next trip. So immediately we're like, okay, well, that was awesome. What's next? And that's what I look forward to. Like you talk about finding stuff to do together. I think traveling as a family is something we're going to make sure to prioritize.
Absolutely. That's a big one for us. And we talked about this before. Went to Oregon a couple months ago, and to that point, we get in the car and it's like the end of the trip. We got to head back up. We went down the coast and came, and then we were supposed to go just straight back to Portland. Once we got to the southern end, we were in the Redwood Forest, but just in California, but to head back up. And Lang looks over and it's like, it's Friday. We got 2 days to make that trip. We're going to go back. The plan was to go back to Portland, just be there for, 36 hours and fly out. And he looks up and he's like, are you thinking what I'm thinking? And I'm like, I don't know what it is, but yes, whatever it is, buddy, let's do it. Let's go. We got time. What more do I need? Whatever the thing is. And he's like, let's go back up. And we ended up back up at Cannon Beach. And it was because of, the experience that we had up there, which, if you're Goonies fans, that's where the rock is and the Haystack Rock. But being out there, they've got campfire. You can have a campfire, but a bonfire on the beach. It was amazing. And he was like, let's just go back and have that night and everything about it. So I'm like, now every time if he looks over and says anything, like, you think what I'm thinking, I'm like, whatever it is, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Just whatever, let's do it. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you. Sharp too. The family vacay. We just got back a week or so ago here. We started doing family vacations again about 17 years ago. And, I don't know. I can't remember if I said this on the podcast before or not, but, it had been so long since we had them that not everybody had been in the room together, right? So we had to have a safe word if you needed some time alone, right? So the word for us was Oklahoma. And I don't think anybody's ever said Oklahoma, but Danny, that dad said Tulsa one time. He needed just a little bit of a break. But you get that family time. And, for us, we play games at the end of every day. And they've evolved, right? As Gunner has gotten older, we're able to play different games, but it's just belly laugh. You play the game, you tell jokes, you do whatever, and it's just belly laugh. And it's, you sit around the table and certainly trying to be present, but at the same time, like at the back of my head, I'm just trying to take it all in.
So what's the current go-to family game? Is it a different one every night?
It was Tripoli.
Love Tripoli.
Yeah.
Do you have the actual board? Because
Yeah.
we nerd out, and we actually did the homemade board where we took a old table cloth and drew the circles.
That's awesome.
Man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we've still got, it's like a 1974 board. The box is hanging on by a thread.
Yeah.
And we forgot to, I've got, back when poker became a thing, I bought the clay chips, but a couple years I forgot to take the chips, and we'd have to go to the store and get like Skittles or Werther's or some kind of hard candy to be the cash. But yeah, no, Tripoli's been the game here recently.
You're gonna have to get a Tripoli class. I don't have any idea what that game is. We have two long time family games that we play, but I don't know a lick about Tripoli. So you'll have to give us the overview.
It's so in short.
There's picnic tables and candy, so I'm down with it. Like, I don't really know what.
Yeah. That's all you need. That's all you need. You could buy it. You could make your
right.
own. But no, you deal all the cards out, and then there's a ghost hand, and maybe you sell it, maybe you don't. It's up to the dealer, and then you play poker for the kitty, right? And then after that's done, you start playing. You start with the two of clubs, but you go up until that nobody else has a card to play, because either it's dead or it's the ace. And then you have to play the lowest
or it's in the
Yeah.
Yep.
When do I get the candy? That's really the only part that I'm curious.
Well, the candy
about.
was the money.
The rest of it, I'm just like,
candy's the money. So like the ace of hearts, all the aces represent candy. So you play an ace, you get candy. The face cards that are hearts, but the big ones are like there's certain combos where if you play a certain combo, and those build up over time.
That's more like a chip. Combos are like good too. I like the kind with the cheddar. that's a whole different.
But those build up. You get lots of candy. Like, what is the big one?
Eight,
Queen,
9, 10.
King of Hearts.
8, 9, 10. All one suit. It's a tough one to come by. And then the Queen and King of Hearts.
Yeah.
Speaking of card games, it is all Uno in our house. That is all. We are not the 52 card deck, but the Uno is all. And Langston is a shark. Like, that kid is. He doesn't care, and he loves to take me out. That's like immediate, like, just kind of, how can I beat dad? And I'm not really sure that I'm the best I'm not even probably second of the three of us. So I don't know why I'm the one, but he comes at me every time. Takes it easy. I think
not to cut off or intrude on the Uno, but I have a guest appearance from the oldest son, the middle child. So we're talking fatherhood, and he's walking by. So I was like, "Hey, come jump in the show real quick. Give this is Nolan Cotton."
Yeah,
I've
been told to give my experience with Craig Cotton as a father. I've been paid quite a bit of money to say that he's awesome. Treats us well. Sure, it's hard out there, but yeah, great time to be here.
Thank you, sir. Hey, unsolicited.
And did you do the?
It sounds like something a prisoner would say.
Yeah.
Are we still doing the? Are we still doing the PP before the sleep?
Oh yeah, he wants to know. They want to know if you're still doing the brush of the TP before the PB to PP, sleepy to sleepy. So yeah, he says he does it, but he doesn't say it. Yeah. We've got him trained up. He has to repeat it in his head, and then We should do the high five. We could do the high five up, down, in the hole. We could do that live on the show too if you wanted to. Yeah. All right.
I appreciate that you brought receipts.
Yeah. Good kid, man. Good kid. All my kids are good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Good kids, man. We're real lucky.
I almost think he was blinking Morse code at us there. Like he was trying to tell us something. Dad's making me do this.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. What about they made shirts? I don't know. It's probably been 5-6 years ago because I've always got some little project I'm working on, and I let them sleep in the morning, but they had shirts made up, and it said that the 10 a.m. Project crew, and it had 4 faces. It had the faces that Nolan drew out, and then each person on the back had project manager. Tammy had like a snack provider, assistant project manager. They had all this stuff because I'm so used to, like, I have to wait until they wake up. But then I'm like, all right, I got a project. Come on, we're gonna go clean up the garage, or I need you to help me do this, or I need you for like an hour. Some project I got going on at the house. And they're like, oh, here's Dad's project. I gotta go participate in that he's making me do. I'm like, I need help. You're my labor, man. Come on, let's go. So yeah, so good stuff.
Paying dues.
That's right.
So as in I'm not, you guys are not positioned on my screen the way I am positioned on yours, Craig, but as the elders, if you will, as your kids are now older, do they come back to you with the, hey, remember when?
Oh yeah.
Like Sherm, I don't know if you guys are there yet. We're not really, like, there's a lot of, hey, do you remember the time? Sometimes it's like the Chris Farley episode on Saturday Night Live. It's like, hey, remember the time somebody took a bite out of an apple? Yeah, that was cool. But like, it's, hey, remember we had the traditional stuff, right? Or we used to have the, but are the kids get older, do they come back to you with the remember when? And does that lead into deeper conversations at all? Or what's that like?
Yeah, I've got a quick one there if Neil's good with. So and ours is more being silly, but we're going up family trip to Indy to do the children's museum. They've got a great children's museum up there. Nolan's probably, I don't know, preteen, maybe 10, 11, and we check into this hotel, and this is a story that he likes to tell, but we check into this hotel, we get in our room, the room is stinks like cigarette smoke like no other, and I'm already like, coming in this hotel, I'm already like, oh man, what did I pick? This is, and so, but he has got to go number 2 like no other. So we come in the room, and he immediately runs to the bathroom, does his business. He comes back out. By the time he comes back out, I've already decided we're done. We're checking out of this place and we're moving on down the road. And we're going to a different hotel. I'm not making my family stay in this room. And so to this day, he's like, remember that time that we went on a trip and the boy went to the bathroom and he went poo poo and then we left. He's like, ha. He's like, he thinks that's the greatest story of all time. He's like, we checked in the hotel, the oldest son went to the bathroom and then we left. He's like, that is awesome. So yeah, that's one of the stories he thinks is hilarious. Yeah,
I feel like for me, the remember wins are me to the kids, like saying, hey, remember this, remember that, like making sure to plant those memories. Like,
oh yeah,
like Lance and I went to a football game, a University of Louisville football game last week, and just walking in, now he's like 6'2". He's much taller than I was, but I was like, just the walk from the back of the parking lot into the game. It's the same walk that we've always taken. And as we're walking in, it just felt so different with him, like as an adult walking in versus, so I started with the remember wins and like, hey, do you remember when you were sitting on my shoulders so you could be my eyes, kind of peering in on how we could get to the, front of the line and so it was almost like, hey, do you even remember that? And he's like, well, I remember going. And I said, okay. Well, this is, anyway, it's just like trying to make sure that we plant those seeds, not just when they happened, but I feel like I got to tell those stories a few times so that they remember them.
You talked about that just hit me too. Is one thing I had not thought about. I mean, I've thought about it, but not for the show. Is that carrying your kid for the last time, of like, just, picking them up just at an event like that, like at a football game where it's a late game, whatever the thing is, and they just crash out, right? So you're there, or at a, whatever the picnic, whatever the thing is, and you've got to like just carry them away from whatever the event is to the car, put them in the car, or if they crash out on the couch, and carrying them upstairs, because that our house is like that. His bed is upstairs, so that is one of those things that has not happened. And I've thought about that before. Of like, when was the last time? I don't know. And I'll still sneak a hug every once in a while and kind of do it. And like, I'm almost like I'm kind of grabbing him. It's like, all right, dude, this is like, I'm just going to kind of hold this for a moment. So I don't know that it's over yet, but it's certainly, as far as the carrying, my back is like, oh, that's done. There's no chance that's happening. So yeah, tough stuff.
Speaking of hugs, I used to trick him into giving me more hugs. Like we'd hug it out, and I'd be like, hold my fingers to my ear, like I was getting something from the replay booth.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh, the judges said I gave the best hug. And he'd be like, oh, no, you didn't. And he'd come back in to give me another hug, right? Squeeze a little tighter. And then I went to this thing where I started shaking like an earthquake. I was like, champion of the world. I could still sneak in the hugs, but I can't trick him into believing that I gave the best hug anymore.
Well, back to your elders. I'm the elder. I'm now not just the father. I'm a grandfather. Maeve, I got Maeve out there. Tori as our first grandchild, so that's pretty badass. And then we had to figure out grandparent names, and fortunately we get to FaceTime with her almost every week, but she lives 2 hours away, so we don't get to see her very often. But we are doing a camping trip with Old Bolivar November 6th, and going to go to Moorhead and get to see her for about 4 or 5 days. So we're pumped about getting to spend some quality time with the grandbaby. So,
and what is the grandfather and grandmother names?
Well, I wanted to go Poppy. I wanted Papi, like Big Poppy. But that's been confusing to way too many people, so we've settled it. We've gone with Pops, and then Tammy is Lolly, so we're Lolly and Pops. So that's yeah.
I'm shocked it's not some kind of like Roro Toto rhyming convention like.
Well, lollipop, I guess.
Yeah, lollipops. But like, so yeah, I wanted Poppy. I wanted like Big Poppy, but there was too many spelling issues. There was too many people not knowing how to pronounce it right. I'm like, okay, we're done with this. We can't keep. we're going to simplify it, and we're going Pops. So yeah.
You just wait till nobody else is around, and then you're just like, Maeve, it's Poppy.
Yeah,
and that's it, and it's in, and then it just goes.
Yeah. But shout out to all my children, man. Tori, Nolan, and Will. So great kids, man. Great kids. Awesome. I couldn't be a prouder dad.
So the naming does that mean that all the grandkids will have to stick with the lollipop?
Well, I don't know. I guess that's up to the child. I do remember being a kid and going to because I called my grandmother and grandma. I remember calling them Mama and Papa. But I remember I got to about 10 and I thought that was silly. And I remember asking them, do I have to call y'all Mama and Papa? Because I think that's like, I want to call you grandmother or grandma and grandpa. And she was like, you can call me whatever you want. So I guess once the child gets to their decision, they can call you, now my dad named himself Boompah, and that was BOOOMPAA, Boompah. And then when my boys, when they were out in public with my dad, he asked them to call him Grandfather Boompah, sir, and he would carry quarters in his pocket. And if they dressed him in the formal, he would give them a quarter every time we're out in public. So I always thought that was a funny thing my dad did.
It's like that old Bob and Tom skit. Call me El Conquistador.
Yeah, he invented his own name. It stuck. He was Boompah forever.
Yeah. So I always called my mom's parents granny and granddad, and it was just me and my sister. But then when my mom remarried and my my stepdad Scott came in the picture, that also brought in 2 stepsisters. And so when we would, and we were talking about playing cards and games earlier, that was a big thing we would do over there, is we'd go play cards. And my granddad, Kara, noticed that every time my granddad went to play like a big card or whatever, like he was about to take over the game, he would go, hup. And so she decided that he was no longer granddad, that he became Hup, just because of his habits of taking over the card game. So.
Oh yeah,
love the nicknames like that.
Yeah. My mom's Bubby, but that my nephew Ethan named her Bubby. She was calling him Bubby like brother when he was little. And she said, "Hey, Bubby," and he said, "I'm not Bubby, you're Bubby." And my mom's been Bubby ever since. So who knows? Yeah.
All right. Well, boys, this has been some good conversation. I can't tell if Craig's getting emotional or if he's got some allergies
It's
over there.
totally allergies, 100% allergies. When I talk about my children, dude, it's just a tough discussion, man. All I have to do is start bringing up how cool I think my kids are, and my grandfather gave it to me, buddy. It don't take nothing. It don't take nothing enough, and the allergies get to me. Yep.
Yep.
All that damn
And it's-
ragweed.
And it's funny like that, Craig. I never had allergies before my kids. Before my
funny
kids,
how
I
that
got
works.
one. I only got one.
Yeah.
But it's like before it never happened. Now I'm like, all the time.
Well,
it happens.
and I got one more prop, Craig, or Cotton, or Red. Before you shut us down, I got one more prop. So I got, we talk music on the show, and there's one song that I want to add to the playlist that I think fits, and it's a girl dad song, but it's from Jason Isbell. It's from his 2020 album Reunion. So this came out right before I had to drive her to college, and there's a song on it called "Letting You Go." And let me just say the lyric. It's just one line from the chorus. It says, "It's easy to see that you'll get where you're going. The hard part is letting her go." And that's in a nutshell what we think about our kids.
Yeah,
man.
Yep. Cool stuff, man.
All right. Well, I've had enough crying for one morning.
I'm out of paper towels. So you're gonna have to wrap. You're gonna have to wrap this thing
All
up.
right.
I had to go to my emergency stash in my backpack that I travel with. I'm like, anything else?
Good thing you're wearing a long sleeve shirt.
yeah.
That's right.
All right. Well, boys, love you guys. Appreciate the stories. Listeners, hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you've got some things that you're able to drink in, whether you know it's the last time or whether you don't. Drink it in and enjoy it. Peace out.
Absolutely.
For sure. See you guys.
Bye, guys.